Hi, I am gonna try to tell you guys a story how I came to become a Christian and believe in God, and why it's so important that you listen when God is speaking to you. Because I wouldn't be here today if this person didn't listen when God was speaking to them, and so I'm gonna try to get through it without getting somewhat emotional. I've tried this a couple times and it's hard to talk about it, but I want to tell you guys. So maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was about 23, 24. At the time, I got really sick, more sick than I've ever been in my entire life, and it was a progressing sickness over the course of a year and a half, where I began to lose the ability to use my arms, hands, legs, and feet. I couldn't drive, I couldn't button my pants, I couldn't open a water bottle. It got so bad that I couldn't even lift 10 pounds. And I remember the day that I broke down and I wanted to end my life, which was when I was at the gym, which the gym was the only thing that would make me feel somewhat better, and try to, keep it from getting worse and worse. But I remember I couldn't even pick up 10 pounds. And that's where in the middle of the gym, I just dropped it and I just walked out, and I went home and sat in my shower for about 4 hours with a gun in my hand. And I was going to end my life that night. And I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't really believe in God. I grew up in church, but I didn't have a relationship with him. I didn't believe it. I didn't live it. I lived horribly. I was not a good man. And over the course of a year and a half until that point, I had about 40 to 50 different doctors and specialists trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And three of them told me that I had ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a neurological degenerative disease that will eventually take away the ability to do anything, and you become like a human vegetable. And they told me that they can't tell me for sure that's what I have, but that's what they think. And it wasn't just one, it was two, it was three of them. 3 different doctors told me the same thing. And after the third time, that's when that depression really set in, and they told me, you have 6 months before your parents are going to be changing your diapers and you're going to be fed through a feeding tube. And so I remember that night when everything just broke down, and I was going to take my life, and I prayed to God, and it was really the first real prayer that I have ever had to him. And I just said, God, I'm going to end my life tonight, and I'm sorry. If you're real, I need you to show me, I'm going to do it tonight. And so I remember my parents were having a little party, so I wanted to go say goodbye to everybody. And I went down there, and I went to the party. After everyone left, my dad pulled me aside. He was like, "Hey, buddy, I can kind of tell something's off. What's going on?" And up until this point, I haven't told my family anything. They didn't really know. They didn't know I'd been going to the doctors for the past year and a half, trying to figure out what's going wrong. They didn't know that I was feeling this sick. They just thought I didn't want to drive, or I needed help opening water bottles sometimes because I was lazy. But I eventually told my dad what was going on, and I told him I was going to end up in a wheelchair in about 6 months, and that you guys would have to be feeding me through a feeding tube and changing my diapers. And I don't want to live like that, and I don't want to be a burden. And he sat there, and he said, "Okay, just give me 24 hours. Don't do anything yet. Give me 24 hours. And out of respect for my dad, because my dad and I are best friends, I love him. I went home that night, and I said, "All right, God, you've got 24 hours. You've got 24 hours." Because out of respect for my dad, that's what I'm going to give him. Other than that, tomorrow night, that's the night. And I just remember waking up the next day, and one of these symptoms that I'd have would be I would randomly pass out, like a light switch. I'd be fine walking around, and then immediately just done, lights out, be on the ground. That happened the next day, and I went to the hospital where I'd been 30 times, and I walk inside. And this is why I say, like, it's so important that you listen when God is speaking to you, because you never know why or what the implications could be just by listening. And I wouldn't be here today if this woman didn't listen to what God was telling her. And she pulls me aside after the night before I've prayed and said, hey God, if you're real, I need you to show me. Like, I need you to show me that you're real. This random lady, never met before in my life. Her name is Caroline, and I've tried to meet her and find her. I can't find her anywhere. I really can't. I've tried to find her. If anybody knows Caroline at Duke Hospital, you let me know. But I've been trying to find her for a long time. But she pulls me aside and she says, hey, this is going to sound completely crazy, but God's telling me to tell you something. And at the time I didn't have a relationship with God, so I was like, okay, like, whatever, weirdo. What's God telling you? And she tells me, like, none of the doctors here are gonna be able to figure it out, but she knew a doctor from Germany, and she was a few hours away, that she could figure out what is going on. And she gave me the number to call, and that night I called her because I prayed after that, and I was like, all right, God, like, if this is you, at least we'll ride it out, and if it doesn't work out, well, then that's the day. But so I call her. She gets me in like 2 days from then, and I bring her all of the paperwork and documentation and all the tests and labs and brain scans and blood work and everything. It was a year and a half where I was literally like a file this thick worth of medical stuff and research, all the stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. And within an hour of sitting down, she knew exactly what was wrong with me. It's this where this is hard. Yeah. See, this is where it gets tough. Because like, I just remember how dark those times were. And I know the thoughts that go through your head. That it's everyone else is better off. It's better off if you're just not here. And I want you to know that's not true. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a lie from the enemy that it's better off that you're not here. Because I am so happy. I am so happy that I didn't end my life that night. Because I would have missed so much. And I'm so happy that I'm here. I've helped a lot of men not make that irreversible decision. And for them to realize, like, just let God do his thing. Like, you just gotta trust God and he'll make it happen, because she fixed me within an hour. Within an hour, she looked at my brain scans and she looked at everything, and she says, I know exactly what's wrong. It sounds crazy, but she put me on a treatment plan, and she looked at this brain scans and she said, you see this, what's growing on your brain right here? You see this? I'm like, yeah, the sinus infection that the doctors thought I had. She's like, no, it's not a sinus infection in your sinus. That's actual, like, mold growing in your brain. And they thought that you had ALS, but it's not ALS. It's mold growing in your body, and it's giving the same symptoms of ALS, but I can cure it. And within a month, I was symptom free. And so I just want you guys to know that, like, that God is real. God is real. Like, he is 100% real. And just don't do it. Don't end your life, because you're going to miss so much. You're going to miss so much, and you're going to be so thankful that you didn't do it. Okay, so just pray. God is real. I promise you, it will all work out.